Okay, cracking open a nice cold one to start this video. Let's see if you can hear this. When I say cold one, I mean an Arizona iced tea, Arnold Palmer, half and half iced tea lemonade, tall boy, baby. That's right, that's what you need. A refreshing beverage to do this insane feat of making this tier list. Yesterday I attempted to do a One Piece every character tier list that had over 1,000 characters, and I got deep into it about the amount of time it will take for me to do this whole tier list today. And I realized I was like a quarter or less through all the characters, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not doing this." So I found a different tier list. It's not every single character, but it's everyone that they whoever created this tier list deemed to be like core enough, important enough to sort of make it. So it looks like there's like probably I don't know, eyeballing. Let's you know what? Let's calculate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I know the last row isn't complete, but that's like a rough estimate, let's say. So let's do math. 14 times 27. Okay, it's about 400 characters here, as opposed to like over 1,000. With the other one, I think said literally 1,000 plus on the like title of the tier list. So first, let's make sure I'm recording. I'm recording indeed. Let's rename our tier list. So if you don't know me, One Piece is one of, if not my favorite fictional stories ever told, tied only with Gurren Lagann and A Song of Ice and Fire. So obviously, it's going to have some of the characters that are the best in all of fiction. So I'll put that at the top tier. Then we got high tier, mid tier, low tier, shit tier. I'm going to do plot vehicle slash not a character. Like they don't have a significant personality. They're just there for like puzzle pieces in the narrative and who for people I do not remember. Let's change the colors down here so we got a little diversity. Oh, and one more I want to add is I will add one above here. That's not what you're supposed to do. Fuck. There we go. Um, Add row above. I will add one that for characters we just. I did not mean to change like characters. Characters. I'll just say don't know enough about them yet because the series is still young, even though we are in the final saga. Let's change that to a light blue. Actually, you know what? Let's do dark purple for this one, light blue for this one. It's way easier to tell where we're at on the sheet. Anyway, let's jump right into it with our protagonist, Monkey D. Luffy, who, in my opinion, is one of, if not the best protagonist in all of fiction. It's such a unique, refreshing take on the shonen protagonist because when you originally start the series, you think you're just getting another Goku. Um, I haven't read Hunter x Hunter, another Gon. Just like another generic, like black haired anime protagonist boy. But this character has so much depth and is like the definition of like a really good person in the sense that they don't care about politics, the politics of the world. They don't care about like the deep lore and the mysterious narrative. Like all they care about is their goal of becoming the Pirate King, who they associate with the freest man in the world because of the trauma they underwent as a child. They just want to be, you know, they just want to be completely free, and and they're just so stalwart in their goal of all they care about really is protecting good people and friends, and they have a sixth sense for telling if someone's a good person or not. And they're able to apply that to all their decision making. So they're not even like in a lot of arcs, Luffy is not really even paying attention to like the narrative, you know? Like I can't even remember if he knows what's good. Like Arlong Park's a good example where I think he either slept through or was not paying attention to what was really going on in Arlong Park, but he just knew. He knew that Nami was suffering and was in trouble and was going to do anything to make sure his friend isn't suffering. And I feel like that's just such a textbook example of who Luffy is as a character. And with that, Luffy is such an inspiration, goes in best in all fiction. Roronoa Zoro. One of my lower tier Straw Hats, Roronoa. Um, he's like not one of my favorite Straw Hats, but like he's another example of just someone that's such a good friend and to Luffy and will be by his side till the end, no matter what disagreements they have, and they do have disagreements, and no matter what separates them, what underwent, Zoro, like what they undergo, Zoro will always be back to be by Luffy's side and be his right hand wing. So with being the second in command of the Straw Hat Pirates and just being a very fun character overall, I'm gonna put him in high tier. Nami. Nami is an absolutely incredible character in that she has similar to like Luffy, she has so much trauma and depth. And the fact that she did you hear that? There was like a loud bang. I don't know if that got caught on camera. Just like it's like that TikTok meme of like the girl and the dog sitting on the couch, all of a sudden hear, and they both look up at the same time. But anyway, Nami. Um, God, sorry, I lost my train of thought, but I'm just gonna say she's such an incredible character, and she puts on this facade of like being money grubbing and only caring about treasure and just wanting to like be selfish when really deep down like the whole reason she adopted that risk persona was as a shield for to protect how much she did actually and hide how much she did actually care about her loved ones and family. And I feel like that applies to the Straw Hats well. And you see her true nature, especially when she's around children, child characters, because you could tell she sees herself as a child and her broken, rough childhood in these children and wants to do anything to make sure that they don't have to experience what she's experienced. And like it's just so heartwarming to see how she cares for the children, even in these dark, traumatic situations, because she sees so much of her life in it. Anyway, I'm going way too long on each of these characters, but I'm gonna put Nami in high tier. Usopp. Okay, looking at all the Straw Hats, Usopp is probably my least favorite of the Straw Hats. I still love him. He's still a mensch, but some Straw Hats aren't as good as others. I just have to say it. Like they're all my family, as I read it. But like Usopp, I could take or leave. I've never been a huge Usopp fan. I get that there's a lot of depth and nuance to his character, but he just doesn't draw me in as much as the other Straw Hats do. So I'm going to put him in mid tier. Um, Sanji, incredible character. Um, just so like very similar to Luffy in that they're like altruistic to a fault, where like all they really care about is protecting, their friends and loved ones and family, and but the way they do it is very different. Than Luffy, where Luffy will fight the world to protect his friends, Sanji will do it in suffer in silence to protect his friends. And it's such an interesting, unique take on the very same dynamic. And I really think Sanji serves as a very interesting clash to Luffy in that sense. But also, there's just so much depth and layers to his character, like his dedication to always feeding someone that he learned from Zeph, to growing up with his in a domestic abuse situation and seeing his mom abused and vowing to never ever hurt a woman in his life and how he adopts that even into the modern day. There's just so much depth there, and I love him as a character. I love Sanji. He's a piece of shit, and you want to put him in a dumpster and leave him there to die, but also you just want to give him a big old hug and kiss. So putting Sanji in high tier. Tony Chopper, our mascot sales boy, because Oda had originally very different designs for Chopper, and like totally adapted him into a cute like kawaii esque figure for sales, and it was a genius idea because Chopper's great. Chopper's adorable. He's just a little boy, Tony Chopper. Um, two first names and then Chopper. But yeah, I love him. Also, every Straw Hat does has an incredibly tragic backstory. Um, but he's just a cute, special little boy. I'll put him in mid tier. Nico Robin. Okay, Nico Robin is not only my favorite character in One Piece, but potentially my favorite character in all of fiction. I connected so hard with her when I first read her story and like her backstory. Like I just saw so much of my life and my childhood in her story, and it's I have a hard time connecting with a lot of different characters in a lot of different pieces of media, but like the characters I do connect with in One Piece, it's just such a profound connection to the point where like I feel like I see so much of myself in Robin, and like she almost feels like a stand-in in the story for myself, to where like I feel like I'm there in the this is like I'm trying to find a way to explain this. Doesn't sound like psychotic, but like she's just so special to me. It's the only way I could describe it. Just like how she handles life, um, like how despite it all, the Straw Hats were able to give her, she was able to wait long enough and just keep moving forward just a bit longer, despite everything being against her, long enough to find the family that she's, been looking for all life and the love she's been looking for all life. And she's so obsessed with like, unlike Luffy, she's so obsessed with like the lore of the world and the history and the intricacies of like what happened with the world government. And that's something I would be fascinated with exploring if I were on the Straw Hat. It's like she exactly like represents me in that sense, and I love her to death. So as like the number one Nico Robin fanboy in the world, I'm gonna say best in all fiction. Frankie, go right next to Robin. Hint, hint. I ship them so hard. But this isn't a shipping. This isn't a shipping video. This is just gonna be me talking about the individual character. Another incredible character. Another character that you know, all of the Straw Hats went through such bountiful trauma in their life, and they all handle it differently. But I think what makes them a Straw Hat is that they handle it with good. You know, um, and just when we get Frankie, he's like kind of portrayed as a sleazebag in the beginning, but the more you get to know him, especially during Enies Lobby and the way he interacts with Robin and the way he just latches onto her and protects her, like just like instinctually, he just knows and like the fact that he cares so much about her without having barely even known her, is just such like I'm going way too much on each of these characters, but he's just such a good person, and similar as Robin does. I just want to be in his arms. Frankie's great, the best. I'm gonna put him in high tier. Brooke, um, incredible character and like the perfect example of like the keep moving forward ethos that like no matter how dark things get, like he lost all of his crew, he got permanently isolated, permanently stopped from returning to his best friend who he promised he would return to. Just permanently stuck, and like all hope was lost. Yet he decided to keep making light and keep like light in his life with music and fun and jokes, and to keep moving forward until eventually it was all worth it because he found his new family in the Straw Hats. And it's just like a perfect example of an ethos I really try to embody in my life, no matter how hard things get. And Brooke is just an incredible role model for that. So I'm going to put Brooke in high tier. Jinbei, newest in Straw Hat. I love Jinbei. He's just such a wise grandpa figure, where it's like, when you're a little kid and you sit on your grandpa's lap and he tells you some stories of my family being Jewish, like some like ancient Torah stories, things like that. And you just get that vibe from Jinbei, you just get that vibe that you just want to sit him in his lap while he tells you history stories. And he's just so he's just so stalwart in his support of Luffy and his care for the Straw Hats. And even though he's a latecomer to the crew, he just always embodied that ethos even before he joined. So I'm gonna put Jinbei in high tier. Gold Roger. I'm gonna put Gold Roger, and we don't know enough about them yet. As much as we have seen so far, especially in like the Odin flashback, I think there's a lot more left to learn, and I feel like I will save my opinions. And the same goes for Shanks. As much as we have seen Shanks, there's a lot of motives and stuff going on under the surface that we really just don't know enough about yet. So Shanks is also going, and don't know enough about them yet. And I'm going to say the same for all of Shanks' crew that here. So we got Lucky Roo, Yasop, Usopp's dad, and Ben Beckman. I feel like we're going to learn more about Shanks and his crew once we get to Laugh Tale and Elbaf and stuff. So I'm going to save them. I'm not going to make a judgment call on them yet. Oh my god, why can't I remember her name? It's something with an M. Um, Honestly, not really a character, just a plot vehicle, just kind of around. you know. Uh, Same with this mountain bandit. Same with same with the old guy from the village. Kobe. Kobe is such an awesome character in that like he's the perfect parallel to Luffy in the narrative. Like they start off their journey together at the exact same time, unintentionally, and they like split diverse while both being like carrying the same ethos and like really being like having the same goal of like moving up the hierarchy of the world in different ways. And like the fact that they split off and have these parallel journeys in their respective communities and families, while Kobe finds family in the Marines, Luffy finds them in piracy, and it's like the two like polar opposite because the Marines obviously are intended to hunt down the pirates. So it's like this whole, and they have this whole parallel journey interweaving through the narrative, and I just love that. I think it's great. So I'm gonna put Kobe in high tier. Alvida, the first film we get, nothing in the entire story, nothing really special. I'm gonna, she's just kind of around now. She's kind of a gag character now. Um, Axe Morgan, same thing. He's just an over the top, like corrupt politician. So I'm gonna go same with Helmeppo. People love Helmeppo. People sent for Helmeppo. I don't like Helmeppo in the slightest. I think like as much as he's had a character redemption arc, it's mostly off screen. We just kind of see like we just kind of get the idea that Helmeppo got reformed. And um, Kunai, we just don't see her enough. Like she's in a very small role in I mean, she's a huge role in Zoro's backstory, and his entire goal to be the strongest comes from her and wanting to let down his dead friend. So for that, as a compass to Zoro, like I'm gonna say like she's incredibly important for the story, but that's like kind of all she does in the story. So I'm gonna put her in plot vehicle um, category. Um, who do I want to do next? I'm getting like I get like my undiagnosed ADD kicks in, and I'm like, oh, look at all these characters. Who do I want to talk about next? But we'll get there. We'll get there. We got Zoro's master. He's fine, I guess, but more of a plot vehicle. Buggy the Clown. Buggy the Clown is a gag character with a heart of gold, though. Like the bit of his character where he just keeps falling upwards to the point where like his incompetency and his selfishness just accidentally causes him to like trip and fall and stumble into higher and higher echelon rankings in the world is just such a hilarious bit to the point where like I feel like he's gonna be almost Pirate King by the time he becomes Pirate King. It's just very funny. And he has like a good heart deep down. Sometimes it peaks out, but for the most part, he's still just a selfish asshole. But he's so much fun. He's so much fun going in mid tier. These are his crewmates. I think I'm gonna, you know what? I think I'm going to combine. as I go now that I'm like reflecting on it and seeing like how we're doing. I'm gonna find low tier and plot vehicle. Um, because otherwise nothing's really gonna be in low tier or shit tier. So I'm gonna delete that row, and we'll keep going from there. These are Buggy's lackeys. Not really much to say about them. Cute dog with a goal with a heart of gold soul, mid tier. Fuck Gaimon. Why is he even in the story? These are Usopp's child friends. They're take it or leave it, completely unmemorable. Captain Kuro is over the top evil. I do love his design and aesthetics though, but like, yeah, not really memorable. Django, kind of a bit character. I'll also put him in low tier. Same with Captain Kuro's men. Uh, Quina, um, you know, she's a girl. I think they give her a lot more character and agency in the live action One Piece, surprisingly, and I would put her higher if we're just ranking the live action One Piece. But just based on the manga itself, I'll put her in low tier. The Going Merry. I'm tempted to say not a character, but like, uh, they're they're heart of gold. They're part of the team. They're part of the crew, and that's the whole point. So Going Merry's a loyal ship, mid tier. Uh, Merry himself, who the Going Merry is inspired by, low tier, just color. Why can't remember their names? Zora's two BFFs that like showed up for Barate and Baratier and Arlong Park and then never came back in the story. um, yeah, low tier. This guy's just an asshole. Uh, Low tier. Zeph, gotta love Zeph. He's like such a gruff, fuck you, walk the plank. Um, Exterior, but with just such a deep heart of gold and a deep altruism on the interior. And I love that contrast, and One Piece does it so well. I'm putting Zeph in high tier. Um, Low tier, low tier, low tier. I'm gonna say Don Krieg is shit tier because he's literally just an over the top. I'm glad One Piece live action cut him out because there was already too much going on with that arc to begin with, and Don Krieg is like you know, just kind of a generic filler villain shit tier. Um, Fuck this guy. I just hate his design so much. Fuck him. Shit tier. Uh, I skipped Mihawk. I think we don't know enough about Mihawk yet now, even though we've seen a good amount about him. Um, yeah. Mouser. I don't remember his actual name, but fuck him. What an asshole. Um, Arlong. Arlong is an incredible villain. It's One Piece does this with a lot of their villains, where they serve as perfect contrasts to the experience of the heroes in the sense that like it's an alternate way of dealing with trauma, where like he went through very similar trauma to childhood trauma to a lot of other characters that turned out to be good people, but rather than take his trauma and say I'm going to make the world a better place so others don't have to experience what I experienced, he takes his trauma and says fuck the world. I'm going to make everyone as miserable as possible so they have to experience what I experienced. So it's the perfect duality to the Straw Hats in that sense. And there's another villain later, Dofi, that I will get to that is the perfect example of that. But I'm going to put Arlong in high tier. Just an incredible villain. Um, Hachi, he's fun. He's okay. Just a fun guy. That's a, you know, do I want to put him in mid tier or do I want to put him in low tier? I'll say mid tier. Why not? Not really a character. They're just a cow. Oh, I got rid of not really a character tier. These are just Arlong's lackeys, not really a personality. Is her name Hachiko? I can't remember Nami's sister's name. Um, he's fine. I think Nami's the far more interesting character. Um, but do I want to put her in low tier or mid tier? I'll put her in mid tier. She's fine. Same with the village chief. He's just generic, generic village chief. Hmm. I'm reflecting on my rankings and I'm like, is this what I want to do? Uh, hmm. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yeah, I'm like looking. I'm like, do I want to change up these tiers a little bit? But you know what? We could always change it at the end. Um, Bellamy, such a good person. Really an example because you get Mouser or whatever, and you get Bellamy, and it's two sides of the coin in the sense that the Marines aren't necessarily all evil, and it shows that like she's a really good person, and she took in these two Orons and raised them as her own daughters, and sacrificed her life eventually just to keep them safe. Um, I love Bellamy. I'm gonna put her in. I want her in mid or high. I'm gonna say mid for now. Mid for now. We can always come back and change it. I don't remember what this guy who this guy is to be a smoker. He's okay. Smoker and Tashigi are kind of very fun, like recurring characters, but I don't really have like too much love for them. I'm gonna put them in low tier. Hmm, mid tier, mid tier, because they do have some good like character development where they learn like after Alabasta when they learn about like how the Straw Hats were framed and everything like that, or not given the credit that is. You know the drill if you've read One Piece. Monkey D. Dragon, just don't think we know enough about him yet. A lot of people say he's an asshole, a shithead, but we really don't. I think my interpretation of the character, and we haven't gotten like full confirmation on this. Yeah, but my interpretation of the character is that he's the like where he's so hyper fixated on his goal that he lost the very point of the goal. He's so as the head of the Revolutionary Army, he's so fixated on destroying the world government and stopping fascism that he forgot that the whole point of stopping fascism is to make people's lives better and care about your friends. And I think he really just lost the plot in that sense. And I know a lot of people like that in real life. So um, I think we do need to put him in. Don't know enough about him yet. Crocus, he's fine. uh, Maybe I'll make low tier slash plot vehicle where it's like they aren't really a character, more of a. I'll just add them both there. So I'm gonna say Crocus and Laboon go there. Like they're just like kind of part of the story. Like to move the story forward. That's why they're around. Nefertari Vivi, Nami's girlfriend. You can tell hints of where my shipping allegiances lie from doing this tier list. I love Evie. I think she's an incredible character, such a great honorary Straw Hat. I think the fact that she cares so much about her people and her kingdom that she's willing to sacrifice her life of luxury and go underground in this criminal organization and pretend to be loyal to a criminal organization that is trying to destroy her country. The courage it takes to do what she did, and the care for her people that it takes to do what she did is just so admirable and so impressive. And I think that's why the Straw Hats take such an incredibly strong liking to her. Like, takes so much guts to do what she did, and no one in real life would do go to the depths that she did to, no political leader would do what she did. I'm gonna put her in high tier. Uh, uh, oh, I hate this guy. Fuck him. I was gonna put him in low tier, but like, okay, Dorian Bragi. I was tempted to put them rank them, but I feel like we should probably put Don't Know Enough About Him because I think we're gonna learn a lot more about them. Mr. Three is fun. He's a fun gag character. I love that he's like caught up in Buggy shit after Impel Down. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm gonna put him in mid tier. Wapple. Oh, someone calling me. I'm getting a phone call, so we will have to continue this in part two.